we are just a few short weeks away from the opening of the 16th season for the Claflin Hill Symphony Orchestra. During this season of performances, we thought we'd give everyone in the community an opportunity to learn more about the incredibly talented musicians that make up Claflin Hill. To kick things off, we sat down with Claflin cellist Brent Selby.
I think it was around 12. I was around 12 years old, and I saw musicians in a local church. I saw a couple cellists, a mother and a son playing together, and I just thought it was the most amazing, beautiful sound I'd ever heard. And so I think that was my first introduction. That was my introduction to the cello and classical music. I live in Bath, North Carolina until I was 18, and then came here for college. And I grew up on a cotton farm, and there's really no classical music in the area, at least until Doris Hamilton came in from New Jersey and moved in, put an ad in the paper, and my mom and my sister saw it, and they wanted to play violin with her. And a couple years went by, and I was interested in music, and Doris had noticed this boy keeps picking up the violin and toying around with it, so maybe I should introduce him to the whole string family and see if he's inclined for one or the other. And so she called my mom a year after they started playing, and she said, "Quickly, go to the TV. Get Brent in front of PBS. Turn on PBS right now." And so I saw Yo-Yo Ma playing Dvorak's cello concerto, and I knew in that moment that I had to play this piece. It was unbelievable. I still remember sitting on the floor in front of this genius of the cello and just completely in awe. Every time I play that piece, it feels really, really good. It's so powerful and rich and dynamic. So it feels like what Yo-Yo Ma says. It says he feels at home when he plays that piece, and I understand why. This cello was discovered in Italy by Emanuel Feldman, who teaches at the New England Conservatory in the preparatory school, and he found it. He brought it back. They don't know who made it. It's a mystery cello. And when he found out I was looking for a better cello, he came and listened to me play it, and he said, "Okay, it's yours." And so I'm grateful for him for finding it and getting it to me. And the bow is about 200 years old. We don't know who made it either. There's a big question mark over this cello. It's definitely my favorite instrument, and I stand firm on that. It's my greatest passion. I went to the New England Conservatory of Music. I got my bachelor's there, graduated in 2010. You know, I grew up on a cotton, corn, wheat, soybean farm. My only neighbor was my great-grandmother. I raised chickens. I had a couple horses, and that was the lifestyle. And when I came up here to Boston, I was panicking. Every time I'd walk out of the building, I was always scared that the taxis were out to get me. And I'd wave to people, "Hey, how you doing?" And they'd go, "Back away, stranger." You know, so it was a different culture for me, yeah. The way Paul Serapine has put this orchestra together, his audition process is actually auditionless. There's no audition, and he's had great success over the years with doing everything by word of mouth and by recommendation. And you know, you can tell a lot from a player by auditioning them. You know their skill sets definitely, but you don't know whether or not they're going to work well with you. So I was really lucky that I had 4 or 5 of my colleagues that I play with and teach with in the New England area that came up to Paul and said, "Hey, there's this kid fresh out of college. You should try him out and see if you would like to fill the chair in the cello section." And 4 years later, I'm still there. Thanks, Paul. Paul likes to play really fun stuff with millions of notes. So we need all 3 rehearsals, and it's always amazing what we throw together and do very beautifully over the course of 3 rehearsals. This next concert we're playing Till Eulenspiegel, which is this really heavy, huge piece by Strauss, and I've not gotten to play it before, so I'm here getting the opportunity to play such a incredible work, and I'm going to have to go home and practice some more this week to get all those notes under my fingers. So it's always exciting. It's always exciting to see what the program is going to be. I've always wanted to play this piece, the Prokofiev Romeo and Juliet. That's going to be paired with another Romeo and Juliet by Tchaikovsky that's a little bit more famous. It's seen in Baywatch and any big romance where 2 people are running at each other in slow motions. You always hear that piece, so it's fun to play that one. Prokofiev is my favorite composer. Prokofiev and Bach, and his Romeo and Juliet suite is huge, dynamic, extremely expressive, and the chords. He uses so many interesting dissonances that you don't hear from other composers. So, I look forward to it. It's a lot different than orchestras that I've played in the past. Good different. I never have been in an orchestra where the orchestra sits on the same level as the audience. And what that does is it doesn't put up this barrier there. I mean, it's nice to play on stage, and that happens from time to time, but it puts us on the same level, and during intermission, the audience walks in and just talks to us and wants to know more about the music. And even I have people, while I'm putting my instrument away, come sit in my chair and want to look at the music, and it's really nice. I can feel that this town and this region, there's a lot of people who really appreciate this beautiful music, and they're excited to be involved and feel part of the orchestra. Because in classical music, it's stigmatized. People are if people ask if you play classical music, there's this air around it. You must be pretentious. The monocle is so ingrained in the eyeball that you'd have to have it surgically removed, right? And I like that Paul and the symphony dispels that. We're people, and people are listening, and together we're people together, and I think that makes beautiful music and a beautiful community, and I'm very thankful to be part of it.
We want to remind everyone that Claflin Hill opens their new season on Saturday, November 14th, with a performance titled Rogues, Rascals, and Rapscallions. It's sure to be a night full of what director Paul Serpine would call muscular orchestral works. As always, the performance will be held inside Upper Town Hall beginning at 7:30 p.m. Make sure you get your tickets now. For more information or to purchase tickets, simply log on to the orchestra's website, claflinhill.org. Hey everybody, this is Tim Coet. Make sure you check out full episodes of the Milford Informer on Milford TV. New episodes air every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. and then re-air frequently over the course of the weekend. Milford TV can be found on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 38. And if you live in the Milford area and have an idea for a news story, you can contact us at news@milfordtv.net.